Hi guys, welcome back to Make That Sea Change. My name's Paul. Today we're going to talk about finding content for your blog posts. We've discussed in a number of our posts to date, a number of videos to date, the importance of continuous release of content online. That's the way that Google ranks us. It's the way that we can continue to provide value and provide information and solve the problems of our readers. The more we solve their problems, the more they buy things of us from us, and goes round and round and round a circle like that. But something that does happen to a lot of us is we do get what we call a bit of writer's block, which makes it quite difficult to try and keep putting up the content because you spend more time trying to work out what you're going to write and what you're going to write about, which is something, if you have a look at my niche post, it's something we discuss. I mean, you obviously want to pick a niche and find something that makes sense to you, that you know a bit about, because you are going to have to continuously find content to write about. But let's go to the screen now and have a look at some ways we can find information or find something on blogging. So let's have a look. So we've got our page here. We're going to start on Google at the moment, and we're going to pick the fishing niche today, only because it's something I know a little bit about. I don't have a website in the fishing niche, but it's something I do know a little bit about. So it just makes me easier. It makes it a little easier for me to talk about things that I'm going to find. So I'm going to take the example at the moment that I have a niche on beach fishing, something that we do a lot here, especially where I live. I live only a few hundred meters from the beach, luckily, and we do quite a bit of beach fishing. So if I have that site and I want to find something to write about, I've got a bit of a block. Let's have a look at what we can do. So, I mean, there's a few ways that we can find content that we need online. We can talk about what's hot now, have a look at comments, we can look at keywords, and there's a couple of other sites that we can have a look at as well. So let's start with, so if I type beach fishing, you can see that I get beach fishing rigs, beach fishing tips, beach fishing Sydney. That won't show for those of you who don't live in Australia probably. Beach fishing rod, beach fishing lures. So straight away, you can see I'm starting to get ideas on what I might want to write about, because um, haven't really done any thinking about what I want to write about to this point. I know that I do on beach fishing. I've obviously got an idea about what I haven't written about. So let's have a look at beach fishing lures. So if I click on beach fishing lures, and then I can have a look at the questions been asked. What is the best bait for beach fishing? Do I use a sinker with a lure? What tackle do I need for surf fishing? Best lures for saltwater fishing. So I actually use those questions as almost headings for my post. So if I'm writing about, so if I was going to write about beach fishing lures, I might say, what's the best, okay, if I'm not going to use a lure, what bait should I use? Do I need a sinker with it? What tackle do I need with it, etc. I can start to have a look at these pages, which we'll go through in a minute and start having a look through all of those. But down the bottom, another thing that we've got is we've then got surf fishing lure techniques, surf fishing rigs, beach fishing rigs for brim. That's the type of fish we have here. Australian salmon lures for saltwater. So taking a step back from the actual beach fishing, whatever your niche is, by typing in these questions here, typing that, and you can see that's changed my suggestions here. Google and Bing will give you suggestions on what's popular now. So this means that these results here means that people are actually searching on those results right now, meaning that if people are searching for it, there's a market for it. It means it's something that you might be able to write a post about. So I've got fishing lure techniques here, rigs for a certain type of fish. So, a post might be, what are the best lures for different fish types? I'll have to do a bit of research. And if I have to, I'll probably have to go down the beach and do a bit of fishing with them myself. But in affiliate marketing, you don't always need to do that. You just need to do the research and make sure that your research is sound. You can go from there. So let's go to beach fishing lures where we were before. Let's scroll up, and I can see what people are writing about. And one of the unfortunate things you will find in all search engines is a lot of it's just sales, which as an affiliate marketer is what you want, because you want your site to be there first that people are going to buy on. But, baits or lures, that could be another question you could ask. So if I just write that down quickly so I can show you some keywords later on. Beach fishing with lures, so click on that. Now, obviously with Google, mine has come up with Australian sites. You can see .com.au. You'll get different sites depending on where you live, obviously, but you get the picture here. I'm going to try beach fishing with lures. I know there's a problem casting metal lures. There's no problem casting metal lures. What about soft lures? So these sites are actually the next step. And what I was going to talk about in a minute, which makes it very easy for me, is that have a look at the comments that people are writing about. These are the questions that people are actually asking. So I know I can cast metal lures. I use metal lures here if we're chasing tailor in winter. But what about soft lures? So soft plastics, different types of lures. What sort of information do we have on that? Do I need a sinker? Can I only use monoline? I don't like braid. They're the sort of things that you've got. I can see 4 ideas straight away there. Soft lures on the beach. Do you need a sinker? And then you've got a whole another post here on I only use monoline, I don't like braid. So there's another post, monoline versus braid line for fishing on the beach or fishing in an estuary or fishing on a lake. I was talking to a guy in Texas. I went to the US last year and I was in a big fishing shop there and I was talking to a guy there and we were talking about braid and he didn't really like braid for bass fishing because he reckons it felt different on the fish. We use braid here a lot. So, so from there I can see at least three ideas for different posts straight from there. So there's my list. Braid versus mono, bait versus lures on the beach. Soft plastics work well on the surf, especially the minnows and shads. They're a type of soft lure, by the way. So there's another one, minnows and shads. What are they for? So you can see now that I'm starting to build up idea, weight of the jig head. That's another thing. And this is where it comes back to what I wrote about in finding your niche is I know about these things, which is why I've chosen it for this demonstration. Those of you listening who don't know anything about fishing, this doesn't mean a lot to you, and I apologize for that because I've got to find something. But hopefully you can start to see what I'm talking about. So weight of the jig head. So that's something else that I can put into my post. So I'm getting a whole lot of information here based on this one site. If I go back to another site, beach fishing lures in the tropics. So does that mean that I don't live in the tropics here? So does that mean I need a different lure when I go up north? There's a YouTube video there. This site's only a really YouTube video. No comments at the bottom, so it's probably not one that we need to mess around with too much. Let's have a look at something else for those of you who might be into something different than fishing. Let's think about sewing. So sewing machines. So I've got sewing machine, and I know nothing about sewing machines, so this is quite a good one. So I've got sewing machine, repair, oil. So I've got repair and oil straight up for sewing machines because I'm assuming at this point that if you're getting to the stage where you're trying to work out what your blog post is going to be, that you've already written about what sewing machines are, how they work, what the best ones are, what to look for in a sewing machine, maybe comparing sewing machines, the cheaper versions versus the more expensive versions, so on and so forth. So I'm assuming you've done all that to there, but now I've found sewing machine oil. What's the best sewing machine? Why is it essential for oiling your machine? Why? Have we written about that? What's it made out of? So can I use WD-40 instead of sewing machine oil? There's your headings for your sewing machine oil post. Let's see if we go through our best sewing machine oil of 2019. So someone's written about sewing machine oil. Let's scroll down. So they're talking about, they've got all the different types. This is an affiliate marketing site for those of you who are new to this. This person is writing about sewing machine oil. They're giving a review. They'll tell you the best ones and you will choose and hopefully buy from them your type of sewing machine oil. See if there's any comments at the bottom. No comments on the bottom of that one. But we've got some ideas here. So it's protection, extends the lifespan, effectiveness and precision. There's another idea for a blog post. effectiveness and precision. How to increase the effectiveness and precision of your sewing machine. Oil is obviously one way, but is there other ways? I have no idea, and I'd have to do some more research, but that's something that I can look at. So, I could even copy and paste that. Ooh. 10 best computerized sewing machines. So there's another affiliate marketing site. Heavy duty sewing machine. So there's another post idea straight up there. So what are the best heavy duty sewing machines? So if you are sewing for at home, where you sew, labels on your kids' school shirts, or you sew labels on your work shirts or whatever, do you need a heavy duty sewing machine? If you're sewing all day, every day as a seamstress, or if you're sewing canvas or something in a camping shop, you might need a different sewing machine. So again, hopefully you can see that just by doing a couple of little searches, what sewing machines can sew leather, what's the best sewing machine for heavy leather, upholstery. There's more ideas. So again, I've got 5 or 6 ideas that I can start to research and trial and do whatever it is you do to find information on your sewing machine. And again, at the bottom, for beginners, electronic, and then you get into your brand. So maybe you can compare Janome and Juki sewing machines. So as I say, that's something that I don't know anything about, but there you go. There's your sewing machines. So there's our first two-way, what's hot now. So that's what people are looking for. People want to know about this information. That's what's being searched for right now. And we found the comments in our phishing site before, which was the questions that people were asking. So they were asking braid versus monoline. They were asking about bait versus lures. They were making comments about that sort of information. So that's what can help us actually find posts to write on. Okay, so the next thing we can do after that is, now that we've had a look around and we've got some sort of idea, let's go and have a look at some keywords. I'm using Jaxi. Just clear the last one. I'm using Jaxi for my keyword search. It's part of the Wealthy Affiliate program. But Jaxi is a keyword search tool. There is a Neil Patel one, which I'll show you that one in a second as well. So let's go back to our phishing. So let's have a look at braid versus mono. I'm not sure what this will bring up, but let's have a look. So braid versus mono, or braid line versus monofilament diameter, that's the big word for the line. That's quite an interesting topic. I didn't realize there would be that much there. So if we have a quick look at that one. So we get 40 average searches on braid versus mono per month, with 7 people who do that search tend to click on your site if you're on page 1, and that's the big deal that we talk about in a lot of the posts. There's 74 other sites that have braid versus mono, and there's 96% SEO score, which is actually 100 is the top. So that's a good score. So having braid versus mono keywords, that's a pretty good one. So that one's a good one you could look at. Tie braided line, braid versus mono line. That one's got a few more searches, so I would check that one as well. A lot more sites with that on, but still a high rank. So, if you've got a high ranking page, that might be the word you can look at. So, braid versus mono is a good one to search to use. Let's go for beach fishing lures. It's a bit slow today. Beach fishing lure. Oh, geez, almost the same as the other one. So people search for beach fishing lures. There's only 14 sites for that. So people are asking about it. People are, if they want to know about beach fishing lures, if I would do the best beach fishing lures, 8 people search for that. That's okay though, because you've still got beach fishing lures in your list. There's only 3 with that. If I'm being honest, my post here would be the 10 best beach fishing lures. or best beach fishing lures for Australian waters, or something like that, or US waters, or European waters, or South African waters, or whatever. But that would be, so you can see here that I've found some good keywords, but let's go a step further here. If I've got beach fishing lures and I think, yeah, I've written about that, or that's not really within my thing. Let's go to our alphabet soup. Lure fishing off the beach. That should pop up there. It didn't, so let's change. That should. No, don't like that one. See, there's not enough search and not enough response. So that's not one we're going to look at. But you sort of get the picture here. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually starting to look at different versions of that. So if I went back to beach fishing here, beach fishing plus A, best beach fishing accessories. So there you go. There's another idea straight off the bat that we haven't thought about, because we've got beach fishing. We're talking about lures, but what else do you need? Do you need a piece of pipe that you can stick your rod up and dig in the beach and stick your rod up? Do you need burley nets? Do you need night fishing lights? All those sort of things. Straight up, we've got information there. We've got go to B, best beach fishing rigs, bait. So we get into bait, beach fishing beginners, beach fishing bass, beach fishing boats. Well, there you go. There's some. They're getting up. Beach fishing cart plans, beach fishing center fishing report, and you're into a lot of the American sites here. So Daytona beach fishing charters. So you can see here, I've just got so much information in here that I can look for. A lot of it goes to areas when we're talking about beach fishing. Rigs, bait, do I use beach fishing? So, you know, what that's another thing that you talk about in fishing is rigs. So that's, you know, your fishing rig, your bait, your sinker, your lure, your swivel, all that sort of stuff. Let's go back to our sewing machines. So Brother So Advanced Sewing Machine, So Cool Sewing Machine, Girls Age 8. I have no idea what that even means, but if you're in the sewing thing, that's computerized embroidery sewing machine. So what's the difference between an embroidery sewing machine and a normal sewing machine? Again, another idea. When do you need what type of sewing machine? So it's, again, I mean, I'm not going to carry on and on about it, but you can start, you're really starting to see the ideas that we've come up with. So even on the, you know, with the fishing, we've instantly come up with beach lures. We've come up with types of line, which doesn't have to be on a beach, it can be any type of fishing line. We've got, you know, the best fishing rigs for the best type of beaches. We've got accessories. We've gone into fishing charters, fishing boats. You might review a fishing charter that goes on around your area on your page. I mean, it's not necessarily fishing, but if you can get some links to affiliate, you know, charters around where I live are, you know, anywhere between 150 and 300 bucks a day. Wouldn't mind a percentage of that if there's affiliate links for it. So you can really grow it, and then with the sewing machines as well. So let's go back to our Google searches again, and obviously you can do this on any sort of pages, because the next thing I want to show you is a little tool that you can use that actually gives you more ideas about what's being written at the moment. So, and this is sort of looking at also what your competition is doing. So if I go to tacklebox.com.au was the one that we looked at, which was our, you know, almost our forum type page. So if I go to, that one's not going to work actually. Think about that now. Sorry guys. How to catch fish on metal casting lures. So fishingworld.com.au. That one will have, you know, lots of blogs and things like that. If we copy that site, let's go to Ubersuggest, which is a Neil Patel tool. I'm going to enter that domain. I'm going to search Hopefully this doesn't take too long. Sometimes it goes a bit slow. So I can see the keyword. This is also, I like this tool. This tool is very good if you just want to see what your competition's doing. If you've got competition in a certain area in affiliate marketing and you know what they're doing, copy what they do. Don't copy the content. Never ever copy their content, but copy what they're doing. So we can see here that fishingworld.com.au, they come up in the first page. They have 36,000 organic keyword searches per month. They don't pay for anything. They got a lot of backlinks, so that means people are putting their site in their URLs into other sites. It could be social media, it could be anything like that. But what I'm looking for here, this is what they're writing about. This is what is actually getting them these views. This traffic is coming from these posts. So top 5 tips for catching flathead, game fishing basics, bait tips for big brim, how to catch mulloway, how to catch whiting. I went fishing for flathead on the weekend with soft plastics in a kayak. So I'm going to click on that because that's something that interests me. However, that is also something that's given me another idea. We hadn't talked about different types of fish. We had talked about different types of fish. Game fishing, another idea. So we've got fishing charters. You're going game fishing. You're going on a game fishing charter. What do you need to take with you? You know, what rods do you need? All those things. So again, there's another idea, or another post idea or content that you can click on. If we click on that, game fishing basics, I'm going to go back to my keywords on that and see how that works. So again, I'm just going back to see how that, if I'm going to write a post on that, I want to make sure my keywords are actually going to get me traffic. So I'm going back to my game fishing basics, and it's going a bit slow. It must be a big one. Sorry guys, it's gone slow and slow and slow. But the idea behind it, as I keep saying, so game fishing basics, not a lot there. Bass fishing basics, game fishing boats, big game fishing tackle. That's where we're starting to get into. So what sort of tackle do I need if I go game fishing? Not many sites on that. 270 searches per month on average. Only 86 other sites have those keywords. So I would be writing a post on big game fishing tackle, best big game fishing tackle for northern New South Wales waters, or for off the coast of California, or off the coast of Florida, or in the, in the Northern Sea, off Cape Horn, any of those, anywhere where there's big gate fishing, that's where I would be doing that, and they're the keywords you've been using. So we've found that information, we've found that keyword, those keywords and those ideas just by searching around, just by having a look online and seeing what's out there. Hopefully this will take me back to my Uber. There it is, the Uber suggest. So you can start to get the picture again with the sewing machines. We could do the same thing with sewing machines. Have a look at our sites. Let's find a site here. Sewing Machines Australia, that looks like a pretty, oh yeah, look at that. So if we go Sewing Machines Australia, take that into Uber Suggest. Don't get a lot of search, but this is what they've got their traffic on. So heavy industrial ones, we talked about that before. Carpet opener lockers, there's a new one. Can we use our normal sewing machine as a carpet opener locker? I don't know, but people obviously do want to know because they've had 319 visits for that in the past month. Now, I'm talking about keywords, I'm talking about traffic, I'm talking about visits, because that is how we make our sales as affiliate marketers. It's all about getting people to your site, which is why these pages like Neil Patel and Jaxie are very good. So these are the keywords: Sewing Machine Australia, Sewing Machine, Carpet Overlock, Sewing Machine AU, Singer Sewing Machine, Yuki Industrial Sewing Machines. They're the words that people are typing in. They're the search engine words that people are typing in that are getting these pages their views. So you can see what they're getting their traffic for. You can see the keywords they're using. You can see the traffic they're getting. And we've found those ideas purely on doing Google searches, looking in our keywords, and looking in contents. Just one last thing I want to show you here is what you can also search is Google Alerts. Okay, so what Google Alerts will do is it'll actually email you about your alerts. So I've got a different one set here, but if I want to do one on beach fishing, so that's what these are the pages that are coming right now. Unfortunately, there's a fisherman missing off up north. That's not a good one. Pelican trapped on fishing gear on Clearwater Beach. That's in Florida. So, how to fish safely with birds. They get us here. They drive us bananas when you're casting. The seagulls and albatross come down and get your bait, and we rarely go fishing without having to pull the line off the wings off one of. It's not hard to do, and it doesn't hurt them, but it's still a pain in the backside. So, I'd like to know more about how to keep the birds away. Top winter fishing spots and tips. So there you go. So there's another idea. Winter fishing tips as versus summer fishing tips. Now, why do fish come in summer rather than winter? Let's have a look at sewing machines. So this is what's coming, made to order. Industrial sewing machines, we talked about that. We got anything else there? Recycled, so sewing, using a sewing machine to make recycled items, something like that. I don't know. It's another idea. Obviously, I haven't thought it through too much, but that's what's coming in the alert. And what you can do with Google Alerts as well is you can actually create an alert. I missed that. Let's go back to sewing machines. And I can actually set up, if I edit that one, I can actually, because on my account here, on my Google Alerts account, I've actually got my email address and everything. So I can actually set myself up to get alerts on sewing machines. I'm going to have to get rid of that because I'm going to get them now. But, once a day, I'll get English language, any region, the highest results to my email address, which is, I don't really want them on there, but I'll sort that out later. Actually, I can delete that there. There you go. And that gives me my my alerts. I get them in my email once a day, which will just give me those list of the stories. I actually use that a lot more than a lot of the other things. I just click through my Google Alerts emails and have a look at what people are writing about, and that just prompts me for ideas. I then take those ideas into my keyword search, have a search around, see what comes up. What did we get before? Winter fishing tips. So that has come, those words have come through from Google. Winter fishing tips. So I get 150 people searching online for winter fishing tips. There's 130 pages. So I might want to change that slightly to see if I can get a bit narrower, as in not as many pages. Still a good one. We like under 100 QSR. Not much there for not many searches. 3 pages. Yeah, you could probably give it a try. Early winter bass fishing tips if you're in somewhere where there's bass. So that's a better one. 64, 8 pages. So if you live somewhere where there's winter bass fishing, write a post about it. Put your content on there. So put the best fishing rods, the best lures, the best line. I know in the States they use those big wide flat boats, so accessories for your boats, all those sort of things have come there, and that's all come to me from the Google Alert because we don't do bass fishing here, so I wasn't really aware of that. So there you go. So there's how we can find ideas, and that's I'll leave you with that today, guys. That's pretty much how I find my ideas. There's some ways that you can do it. Do some Google searches, look at the recommendations or the drop downs in Google, have a look in your keyword tools, whichever one you use, and find your keywords. Do your research, write your posts, write more posts, get more sales, and your sea change is off and running. Okay, thanks guys. As usual, please click on subscribe below. Please click like on this video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks guys. Bye.